Hiya! Welcome! This is Minidisc Monday edition number 49 and we're almost at the half century, and let me tell you, we've got lots and lots more to cover in this series. I don't even think we're halfway through yet, judging by my Minidisc collection that I see before me. But on to today's album, and I wanted to cover this solo album from an artist whose original group, I reviewed their album The Score some Minidisc Mondays ago. Well, this was Wyclef Jean's first solo LP. This is Wyclef Jean featuring the Refugee All-Stars presents The Carnival.
Is the type to fight for money, beating you to death, then I beat you back to life. When you look at me long enough, I saw to read your thoughts. If the signal was strong enough, then I call your bluff like, yo, how many rhymes you got? How many rhymes you got? I can go on for more millennials than mine got on the corner. And there's nowhere to run to when I confront you. I call your bluff like you had a
Every time I make a run, girl, you turn around and cry. I ask myself, why? Yeah. You got to understand. I can't work a 9 to 5. That's right. So what you wanna do? Yeah. That's right. Tell me, my bad. Yo, I be gone through November. Sitting on a block with a swag, get high. Selling my to the kids set up. Buy cooking jobs.
Okay, so I've got the Fugees' The Score, great album, a hip-hop classic. I've also got Pras Michel's debut solo album as well. I was looking out for Lauryn Hill's Miseducation on Minidisc for quite some years, and I never quite saw it at the right price. So unfortunately, at the time of me speaking anyway, I don't have that to review, but if I do see it and it's not too bad a price, which is a bit laughable in relation to Minidisc sales on the second-hand market, maybe I'll be able to pick that up one day. But regardless, let's get back to The Carnival. So Wyclef Jean's first album that came out in 1997. We'll have a look at the contents before I talk about the recordings, the music itself. There's the artwork stuck on that side, and as usual, flip it over and we get track list and a bit of legal bump. Nice condition Minidisc this. As you can see on the case, it's got 2 hype stickers, the Sony Nice Price and this one I don't think I've got on anything else, Sony Music Urban Classics, with I'm pretty certain will be a dead web address there. The booklet is concertina style. It's not overly interesting. It's got a couple of nice shots of Mr. Jean himself, but kind of your standard fare. So what do I think of presents The Carnival, or just The Carnival? I'm going to refer to it as The Carnival throughout this video really. Let's get into it. Right, so the bad news, there's a lot of interludes in it. I've talked about this on previous reviews of particularly hip-hop and rap albums. I don't like comedy or spoken word interludes in albums. I don't find them funny, I don't find them entertaining. I just want the music. I get the point of them to an extent. I know that some of the skits kind of give a bit of a precursor, a bit of a preview to the next track, the proper music track that comes up, and it's the same with this one from Wyclef as well, but I can live without them, so I'm gonna skip over all the interludes and skits on here very quickly. The first one is called Intro / Court / Clet / Intro, and it's bracketed skit / interlude. So moving swiftly on. Number 2, great track, Apocalypse. I really enjoyed that. Number 3, Guantanamera. That of course is probably most famous in this country, even though it's like a traditional Cuban song, I think, like a Cuban protest song maybe. It gets modified into football terrace chants in this country, and I think in many other countries, particularly in Europe and South America probably. That featured Lauryn Hill doing a rap in that, and it came out as a single. Number 4, Pablo Diablo Interlude. Number 5, Bubble Goose. That was pretty good. Number 6 is Prelude to All the Girls, brackets interlude, and number 7 To All the Girls. I enjoyed that. I think that may have been a single or like a radio single, maybe in America or other parts of the world. Wasn't a single in the UK. Number 8, an interlude, Down Low Ho. Number 9, Anything Can Happen. Number 10 is the track I'm most familiar with on this album, and it was his biggest single at that point in his solo career, Gone Till November. Love the acoustic guitar in that. One of his strongest singles for me. It's been remixed and there's other versions out there, but this album version is the standard really as far as I'm concerned. 11, Words of Wisdom interlude. Number 12, Year of the Dragon. That was pretty good. Slightly better was Sang Fezi. I'm maybe pronouncing that a bit crap, but I think that's Haitian Creole that Wyclef was performing that song in. Of course, he's very proud of his Haitian roots, and it was unsurprising that we would get pretty much a whole Haitian Creole language song on here. 14, Fresh interlude. 15, Mona Lisa. Yes, there's a lot of tracks on this album. Number 16, Street Jeopardy. At this point in the album, I'm still enjoying it to a point, but especially with these skits and everything that are in this, the album's becoming a bit overlong for me really. You know, I need it to be more nippy and just get from beginning to end quicker than it is doing. Number 17, Killer MC interlude. Number 18 was, I think, the first single of this album, We Tried to Stay Alive. That of course samples the Bee Gees' Staying Alive. It's a little cheesy, I guess, but Wyclef just about pulls it off without it going into kind of novelty or parody status really. I've got no qualms with that track at all. Number 19 is Gunpowder. 20 is an interlude slash skit, Closing Arguments. Another interlude, track 21, Enter the Carnival, Jaspora, and Yele. Yele, another one that I think's in Haitian. Do accept my apologies if I'm wrong on anything that I've said. And it finishes off with really the title track, number 24, Carnival, which is like a kind of carnival. It's a sort of Brazilian feeling kind of track. So a lot of different sort of genres and styles really mixing together in kind of a melting pot of this album really. You know, Wyclef is showing off his guitar skills, his singing as well as his rapping, his writing obviously. Plenty of special guests on here, Lauryn Hill, as I say. I think his siblings appear on this somewhere, the Neville brothers, Pras Michel, of course, the third member of the Fugees. By the way, all three Fugees are credited as executive producers on this album. I thought I enjoyed this album more than what I did really, because I remember getting it years ago and listening to it and thinking, oh, this is good, you know, even with all the annoying interludes that just aren't funny at all really. But I listened to it again and it was just too long. I think the total running time weighed in at well over 72 minutes, and really anything going above an hour needs to be top notch to hold my attention, and this just didn't quite cut it. I think Wyclef, his solo career, and I can't really say for certain because this is the only solo album of his that I own, but I think he possibly improves. Certainly I know he released singles further down the line which were excellent, and there's a couple, or maybe even three I would say, decent singles that were picked right from this album. But overall it's too long, this. If the interludes weren't there, it'd be a much nippier album. I keep going on about them, but I can live without them perfectly easily. And that is one of the things that I don't tend to like about some of these hip-hop albums from the mid-late 90s and early 2000s that I've got on Minidisc. There's just too many skits and spoken word bits on them which add nothing in my opinion, and your mileage may vary of course. So yeah, it's a very, very mild recommendation, the Carnival, but I would recommend just trying to stream it somewhere and maybe selecting the actual proper tracks into a playlist and ignoring all the extra crap really. So Wyclef Jean's The Carnival concludes Minidisc Monday for today. Thank you all for watching, and I want to say special thanks to my wonderful subscribers and generous patrons. I'm going to go now, and please join me in a fortnight's time for the big 5-0 Minidisc Monday episode number 50. Cheers everyone. See ya!